Hello and welcome to yourlocalnote.com. My name is Mike Stringer and I'm with RJ McKay. And it's time again for another featured podcast, and we're happy to welcome back Metropolis America. They have some new songs for us. But before we get to that, let me remind you to download our free iPhone and Android apps. And you can do that by searching YLN at their stores. And with that, you'll be able to stream our radio station 24/7. We're playing only music from the bands and artists we've featured on this site. And of course, you can keep up to date with all these bands and artists with our news page and our concert calendar, which is updated daily. So let's get to the first track for the podcast. We have Metropolis America back. They've just released their new song, Bittersweet, and we have them back in here. We'll cover our tracks for the last 2 years since we last had them on. And here we are into Bittersweet with Metropolis America on yourlocalnote.com.
You so new, do you feel it too? I'm doubtful, frightful, a heart full, I'm so confused. I was with you on the day you crashed your car. You couldn't sleep when your dad moved far. You show who you truly are, but you make me feel so bittersweet. So bitter, so bitter. Yeah, 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 yeah. And incomplete. So bitter, so bitter. Yeah, 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 yeah. I hear you, near you, fear you, finding out I've always been there. Do you care? What do you care? I know about the crushes you have felt. Who broke your heart? Who made you melt? You make me feel so bittersweet. So bitter, so bitter. Yeah, 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 yeah. And incomplete. So bitter, so bitter. Yeah, 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 yeah. If I let on what I've been dreaming, all this change will lose its meaning. I've grown to like the taste of bittersweet. I know about the crushes you have felt. Who broke your heart and made you melt? You make me feel so bittersweet. So good. Yeah, 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 yeah. And incomplete. So good. Yeah, 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 yeah. So bittersweet, so bittersweet. So bittersweet and incomplete. So bittersweet. So bittersweet and incomplete. So bittersweet and incomplete. So bittersweet, so bittersweet.
And that is Bittersweet. They are Metropolis America, and you're listening to yourlocalnote.com. Christian, welcome back, and Greg, welcome into the studio.
Thanks for having us.
Good to see you guys. Long time.
I know. It's been a couple of years. It was April of 2011. You guys released the Cold Pop singles, and which we'll play a couple songs that we didn't feature on that last podcast and this podcast as well from that. So we're missing Rick right now, correct?
Yeah, he won tickets to a Phillies game. Can you believe he chose that
He chose
over
the
this?
Phillies, huh?
That's just, you know.
Yeah.
That's something you guys are gonna have
That's
to
only
deal with on your...
That's something only true Philadelphians would do, you know.
Right.
Us, you know, imports from other places. I don't know.
At least you know he's loyal to something, I guess. So let's cover the last couple of years. I mean, what have you guys been up to since 2011?
Well, when we got here 2 years ago, you guys were very new, and so were we. We had just we decided that we were, instead of doing records, we were going to do singles, and we were
Right.
going to do a single every 6 months. So there were the 2 singles in 11, 2 singles in 2012, and then we did a covers, released 2 covers, and for these new releases that you just heard, Bittersweet, and you're going to hear another one, A Burden of Our Youth. They were supposed to be the next 2 releases, but we met a producer called Brian Sperber.
Okay.
He's worked with Moby and
Julian Casablancas.
amongst, and he's been in the studio with anyone that you know,
Right.
Prince, Madonna, et cetera, et cetera. Like, this guy is the real deal. So we're like, okay, yeah, let's record these songs with him. They'll be ready in a month or 2.
Right.
Cut to a year and a half later, we're still working on 3 songs.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's I've never really experienced something like that in my life, where you're putting that much of your life into 3 minutes, and so much love and so much attention to detail. And,
Right.
and there's all the frustration and all the love and all the breakthroughs. And so here we are, after investing all that love into them, bringing these songs.
So you were working with him constantly through that year and a half period of time.
Yeah.
Very good. How did you meet him? Like, how did the conversation get struck up with him?
Well, that started, we were looking for a different producer for the next couple songs, just so we get some new ideas, a new
Right.
new sound on there. And, we had a list of 20 big names, and the way we found him is through the Julian Casablancas record. I was listening to it one day, and I'm like, man, this sounds amazing. It's just an amazing sounding record. Who did it? So you
Right.
look to the liner notes,
Sure.
Brian Sperber, you Google him, you find him, you write him an email. All of a sudden, his manager's writing you back, and
Excellent.
then, we met in New York over lunch, and we talked, and we knew he was special from day one. Very particular, very meticulous, very special.
Okay. And when we last spoke, you were performing with 2 other musicians, and now Greg, you're with you're with Rick and Christian. Take us through you meeting Christian and Rick, and then Christian, you can speak towards the transition that you made.
A little over a year ago, I was playing with another band, and things were slowing down, so I decided to pursue something else, and found these guys on Craigslist. We met at Johnny Brenda's in Fishtown, and we hung out for about an hour, and I found out that they had a couple gigs lined up. So instead of auditioning, I just said, why don't I just play these gigs with you? Because they didn't have a guitar player.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the 2 of them. So for the next couple weeks, we
Posing
rehearsed.
for pictures in the background.
We rehearsed a handful of times, and it was the first night was in Philadelphia. The second night, it was a Friday, Saturday night weekend, right?
Yeah.
Saturday night we played in Harrisburg, and on the way to Harrisburg, they asked if I wanted to just be a permanent member.
Wow. So it only took really one gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg's a sweetheart. We really love him. I mean, it's been the perfect find for us, You guys saw us as a duo.
Right.
It's hard to play this much music, that many layers with a drummer and a singer bass player.
Right.
So, I mean, we have Greg now, and I think, I think we've stopped looking. So we've got our core, and we can have machines help us where we need to.
Now you have a particular sound that you were always going for. The reason why you called it cold pop was because of the Cold War era. Just explain that, refresh our minds a little bit, and then tell us how Greg worked into that whole sound.
Well, we call it cold pop because we always had a hard time fitting in. Like, people would say, yeah, you guys are, very pop. Yeah, very catchy. And then other people would be like, yeah, it's catchy, but it's not really like mainstream enough,
Right.
So it always had the hooks and the catchiness
Right.
that pop does, but it always had this colder edge. And, one of the biggest things that drew me to Greg is when I started talking about the kind of bands that do that sound. He knew exactly what I was talking about, and he was right there with me the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the first song we played, which is Bittersweet. Tell us about that song, Christian. Did you write that? Is that your creation?
Yeah. Here's a quick little insight. You know all the teens go through a lot of things in life, right? And so there's sites online for them to ask advice.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things that I studied in college was counseling, so I answer one of those advice columns, or part of it, not every question that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And a question that comes in by far the most, more than any other question, is, I've fallen for my best friend.
Okay.
I don't know if I should tell them or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a situation like that as well myself when I was in third grade. And I decided to write her a card, stick it in her backpack, run out of the classroom, and then just hope that she found it and said something the next day. And she never did say anything, so my heart was broken.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw her again 8 years later, and I asked her, why did you never say anything about the card I wrote you? And she said, I never got it.
Oh.
But the sweet part, that's the bitter part, but the sweet part of the story is that we did end up, dating for a while.
Nice.
So,
there you have it.
It's bittersweet. You don't know, whether you should tell your friend and risk the friendship, but you might gain something wonderful.
Very cool. All right, let's get back to the producer. Now, you guys met, and now, what did he like about your sound? Did he tell you why he agreed to work with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we felt pretty special because there's maybe one or two bands a year like us that he works with. He usually, because working with indie bands, there isn't as much money as,
Right.
He's mixed like Three Doors Down, or this whole new, I don't know if you guys have heard this whole new song that's blown up and it's everywhere, by Georgia, Florida State Line, or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Georgia, Florida line.
What's the name of the song?
I know which song you're talking about. And didn't a
and
rapper...
then a groove,
Yeah, and a rapper worked with him.
So he mixed that, I mean,
Okay.
he's mixing multi-platinum records.
Right.
So here we are, this smaller band from Philly, and he just really thought the songs were catchy and then there was something there. That's it.
Cool.
He thought it'd be fun to work on it.
Excellent. Well, I agree with him. That's why you guys are talking with us here. So that's great to hear. So let's go to our next song. We'll play it, and then we'll talk about it when we come back on the other side. You're listening to A Burden of Our Youth. This is YourLocalNote.com.
It took a village just to raise you. You carry them with you. And now it only feels like a burden of our youth. There's sacrifice invested on you. The weight of debt collects. And now it only feels like a burden of our youth. So where do we start when the past lives on into today? What words are left to say? You were on your knees, but so was I, fighting this disease, but so was I, always trying to please, but so was I. We took
song is called The Burden of Our Youth. The band is called Metropolis America, and this is yourlocalnote.com. I'm RJ, hanging out with Mike. All right, guys, let's talk about that song. Where did that come from?
That one was about, well, I guess that one's a little more, introspected. You've heard the big saying by Hillary Clinton, right? It takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of people that have invested into each of our lives, and a lot of, from teachers to parents to
friends.
Yeah. And it really has taken a village to raise us. And a lot of times they invest good. A lot of times they invest, their own problems and their own issues with life. So we are finally today. We find ourselves a product of this village that has raised us. And it's really just urging people to take a look and find out what it is that has been there before, that's been put into you, and to really, harness the good and grow it and love it, and to find the things that are there that are not helping you today, and to kind of let the past go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So now you're releasing or trying to release a single every 6 months. How is that proceeding? Because you're definitely taking a different angle from a lot of other bands who put together a big album and then they release that and they go from there. How is that working out for you?
It's working out really well. We're trying to space them out. It's we're basically releasing them throughout the summer, right around each holiday. So the first one was released around Memorial Day.
Okay.
Then Bittersweet.
Right.
Okay, 4th of July. And then
wow.
Labor Day, we'll be releasing a third single.
Okay.
Entitled Stolen Heart and a Stolen Car.
So that's a little bit faster than once every 6 months.
Yeah, it just...
How did that come about?
Well, we're working with a PR firm, and they thought it would work very well from the whole Metropolis America to the fact that they're very youth-oriented and summer song sounding, and to kind of release them around the holidays. So it just got sped up a little bit.
Okay. And will that be it for the rest of the year, or would you look to do something again near the end of the year, obviously, with the holidays there?
I think as soon as summer ends, we're going to get back to recording.
Okay.
So as we speak, we're going to start hashing out some ideas and getting some rough tracks completed so we can get back in the studio and do some more singles.
Do you have some ideas already lined up, or?
Yeah, we do. There's a song or two that we're already playing live.
Okay.
Maybe that's how it starts, and so there's like maybe 18 or so songs
that you've got.
Yeah. See, that's the beauty of releasing singles, though, because you release the best ones.
Right.
So there's 18 songs.
You don't have to hit fast forward.
Yeah. you're going to get the best out of 18.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So take us through the recording process then with these 3 songs. You're laughing already. There's got to be a few stories then. I guess, Greg, you got pointed to first. So,
what was the question?
Just the recording process. What was it? Short? Did it take a long time? Just
It takes a while. Brian is a perfectionist. So, you sit down in the chair, and just to give you an idea what it's like, you have to tune your guitar. Well, he has this strobe tuner. It's called. It's like this.
Okay.
Ridiculously expensive guitar tuner that just makes you feel really bad about yourself.
Yeah. I mean, how many times in our lives, Greg, have we tuned our instruments?
Many, many times.
So
millions, okay? And we're both looking at each other like, of course, me, I had the audacity to ask him, how do you use this? And of course, he's like, have you never used a tuner? So I just shut up right there and sat in front of it for hours upon hours trying to tune it. And then finally I started getting the hang of it. Luckily, Greg, he played, I recorded bass first, and then he did guitars after. So I kind of gave him some pointers, but it was still, oh my gosh.
I mean, did you immediately notice a difference, or was it the same? It just took longer? I mean.
It just took longer. It
was more precise.
It was definitely more precise.
Okay.
So, and all in all those little details.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out because, when you play, a note, he synchronized everything. Everything was, perfect, metronome,
Yeah.
Everything.
There is absolutely nothing, not one note, not one vowel sound that is not in perfect time to the millisecond.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure the Beatles would do that if they could have back then.
Right.
Yeah.
But hey, we did something the Beatles never did. You know? Like,
Congratulations.
yeah, or even like Def Leppard. You know, you hear the stories, Def Leppard, of how much time, years they spent in the studio.
Yeah.
But everything is in perfect time.
So how much was discussed with these songs before you were actually step foot in a studio?
Well, so what we do is before we go in, we get all of our ideas hashed out on tape. So we know our parts before we walk in, and some ideas came out while we were there for sure.
Yeah.
But we had a very good idea just by putting it on tape, getting and.
So we sent him the demos around the time that we got together with Greg, which was, like April or so, right? And the very first track wasn't recorded till September. So that's 6 months of just going back. The songs were like finished already.
Right.
But
you're doing air quotes. They
were.
Air quotes.
We thought they were finished, but no. Here we went months of working on them, almost every day, back and forth to Brian. He's like, okay, let's fix this. Okay, let's change this. All right, let's move this. So that took all the way April, May, June, July, August, and then September. September came finally, we recorded the drums. And I love the story of when we were recording the drums. Obviously, you guys are starting to get the feeling that Brian is
a perfectionist.
Yeah, and just seeking the best. So, it's like the 20th time that Rick, the drummer, has played the same song, right? And he keeps getting the same response from Brian on the talkback. That was great. Let's do it again.
Right.
Not like, hey, change this, or hey, do this different. Right. No. Just, hey, that was great. Let's do it again. And he's just freaking out. And so, by the third song, he's probably played continuously for, 5-6 hours.
Oh, man.
And the air conditioning goes in the drum room, but we didn't know that because we were in the recording room.
Why is he sweating so
he's
much
just,
in there?
I think he's like, guys, it's getting hot in here. The engineer goes out. No, it's fine. It's set to 65.
Right.
He didn't know it had gone out. So he's like passing out. It's, there are a lot of stories from that.
Wow. So it was broken.
Yeah.
The heat was broken, but you got it, though. You got it down. I mean, these songs sound great. They really do. Looking forward to the third one, which you said was Labor Day.
Yes, that will be a stolen heart and a stolen car.
Okay. Has your songwriting process changed much now that you have Greg from the Cold Pop singles that we played a couple of years ago to these singles that you're releasing this summer?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, here's a guitarist putting in his input.
Sure.
And another voice.
Right.
Where, in those I sang, all the backgrounds and everything. So here's going to be you're going to hear a new guitar sound, a new voice. Right.
So this next song that we're going to play, Possession, using that as an example, what is that song about and how did that song get written?
Well, that one was one of the covers that we did. That is a song by Sarah McLachlan.
Oh,
and
okay.
We heard something in it, and we thought that we could bring something fresh to it. I mean, it's already a great song, but we thought we could do it our way.
Okay,
so we thought we could cold pop a song, a Lilith Fair song.
Got it.
So
okay, well, let's find out. We'll get to that right now. We're talking with Greg and Christian from Metropolis America. They're releasing. They've already released 2 of 3 singles this summer. This song here is a cover of Sarah McLachlan. It's called Possession. We have Metropolis America on yourlocalnote.com.
From across this great divide, voices trapped in union, memories trapped in time. The night is my companion, and solitude my guide. The wood So many times betrayed, trying to find an honest word to find the truth inside. Oh, you speak to me in riddles, and you speak to me in rhymes. My body aches to breathe your breath. Your words keep me alive, and I would be the one to hold you down, kiss you so hard, I'll take your breath away, and after I wipe away the tears, just close your eyes, dear. To this night I wander, it's morning that I dread. Another day of knowing of the path I fear to tread. Oh, into the sea of waking dreams I follow without pride. 'Cause nothing stands between us here that I won't be denied, and I would be the one to hold you down, kiss you so hard, I'll take your breath away, and after I wipe away the tears, just close your eyes, dear. I'll hold you down, kiss you so hard, I'll take your breath away, and after I wipe away the tears, just close your eyes, dear. Just close your eyes, dear. Just close your eyes, dear. Just close your eyes.
That is Possession. They are Metropolis America, and this is yourlocalnote.com. The first two singles we featured in the podcast, we started with Bittersweet, and also the second song was A Burden of Our Youth. You made videos for both those, which can be found on your website, which is...
MetropolisAmerica.com.
Right.
That's right.
Very good. That was just pop quiz.
Yeah. I choked, man.
So at MetropolisAmerica.com, you can view these music videos. Just take us through the creative process with those two, because the one, Our Burden of Our Youth, is a lyric video, which is very kind of snarky, sarcastic, very interesting words you have on the screen, but it doesn't really have much to do with what the song's actually about.
Right. We really did want to. We set out to, all right, let's do a great video for this song. And you know, when you do a video, try to think of a concept.
Right.
We, you know, the song means a lot to us. It's about big issues, you know. So we wanted to come up with a concept that was equally big. We couldn't find anything that we thought matched its weight. So we're like, well, let's not do a video. It's like, but you have to do a video. You know, everybody listens to music on YouTube.
Right.
So let's do the anti-video. And so it's a video telling you that you should just listen to the song instead of watch the video.
Right. And one thing that I like about it, towards the end, you say, well, the song's wrapping up now, and you should probably re-listen to it because you've been reading these words the entire time.
Exactly.
So then you get double the listens on it right away. So that was cool. And also Bittersweet, you just released the Bittersweet video. Take us through that.
Bittersweet was filmed on top of our rehearsal studio down in Fishtown. And Christian had the idea to have the background just blue sky and clouds.
Right.
Well, it's a great idea. It's just hard to get that. Especially this summer, it's been very rainy. So we
True.
we said, we chose a date, went with it, and sure enough, we just had the perfect day. We had to do it on the roof because we didn't want anything in the background. So
Right.
there are angled shots up, as you see in the video. And the clouds, the sky looks perfect. I mean,
It does.
It almost looks like a green screen
I
or
was
something.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was green screen at first
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I'm
you
looking
did?
around. Yeah, just because. But then I'm looking closer, and you don't see any. Sometimes with green screen, you could tell if you look really close. Not.
Yeah.
I mean, just the drums. How are you what angle are you at where you can't get anything else besides sky?
Well,
It's got to be on a riser or a lift or something like that.
Christian and I stood on a little step stool. And how did we?
A step
He
stool
raised-
on a roof, hopefully not near the edge.
Yeah.
He raised
right.
the drums really high, and then we just placed the camera kind of shooting up
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the drums.
Looks really cool, really well done. So let's just go through your website again, and then also the social medias that you guys are with, Facebook.
MetropolisAmerica.com.
Right.
Then Facebook, it's easy. Facebook.com/MetropolisAmerica. Twitter is @MetropolisLife. And YouTube is youtube.com/MetropolisAmerica.
Very good. Now, there's a story we want to talk about. This happened probably, I think it was almost a year ago.
Yes.
And I work at different radio stations, and one of my jobs at one of the radio stations is to load some commercials. I record and produce them, and then I load in some commercials. Then I'm putting in this commercial, and I'm hearing the music. It was actually for a TV program on CBS.
the
network.
sitcom Partners.
Yes. And I'm listening to the song, and I'm going, I know this song. I know it. And for 2 weeks, I'm loading this in, and I can't place the song. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing some work on the streaming that we have on our website, and your song comes up, and I'm like, that's it. Bing, there it is. Yes. So I that's when I emailed you guys, and I thought that was very cool. But you didn't know.
No, we would have had no idea that a song of ours was was used for promos on CBS.
It's running on
and
network
all this,
television.
right, on
Yeah.
network television. We would have gotten a check from CBS, I think the first one we got was maybe 6 months ago
Okay.
for, all that cash, and we would have not known what it was from.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
But, thanks to you, you're like, yeah, you're on this. I'm like, no, I don't think that's us. I
I knew
remember
it was you.
I was on the train on my way home, so I just started Googling it. And sure enough, I'm like, holy cow, that is it.
How
That's
cool is
probably-
that?
Yeah. So we owe you one, RJ. We owe you one.
$20 or so.
Yeah.
Oh, an attaboy is
Small
fine.
cut.
Come on now, yeah. No, that was very cool, and I'm glad that worked out for you. But how does that happen then? I mean, how do you not know that song's being used?
Well, there's 2 or 3 publishers that we work with, and they're really busy. So sometimes they don't get around to tell you.
Oh, by the way, we're using your song.
This one got used, this one didn't.
Wow. So are there times where you get a check and you're like,
Yeah.
where'd this come from?
Yeah, there was something for some other cable network that we still don't know what it is. We could never find it. There was a soccer player from the MLS called Stu Holden.
Right.
He decided to do a rehab video, and the song was his theme song.
Nice.
And then that was through a fan who liked soccer. He's like, "Hey, that's so cool that Stu's using your song." I'm like, "Who's Stu?"
And a bicycle
Yes, there's a bicycle they're called the sufferfest.com, and it's
Okay.
for cyclists that really want to do intense training.
Right.
And so they used the same song. They used Policy
Okay.
and Personal Policy.
Right. Yeah.
And but that one we actually knew because they
Okay.
contacted, they got permission and paid all the upfront fees and stuff.
That's
so.
cool. It's
Yeah.
good for the career and good for you guys, for your ego to have that happening. Come on.
Yeah,
I
a little
mean,
ROI. I mean,
yeah.
it's
Absolutely. Very, very cool. Yeah, I found that really entertaining. And the funny part was when you sent the email back saying, oh, yeah, we didn't know. That was very cool. All right, guys, before we go, let's talk about shows you've got coming up in the near future.
All right. Well, we're going to be all around. So I know this is for a lot of Philadelphians. We do have a show in the area at Sweeney's in the northeast Philly. It's a cool bar. It's on August 10th, And then for those in Delaware or that want to take a day trip to Delaware, we're playing July 27th at Mojo 13th. And those looking for a nice day in New York, we're playing on July 24th at Pianos.
Very nice. You guys doing a lot of traveling?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not too far, but
Okay.
but yes.
Regionally.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. And then again, of course, if people want to get your music, go to your website, which is?
MetropolisAmerica.com.
He got that one.
Very cool. All right, let's go to the last song, Love You, Love. Christian, what is this song about?
This song is a true love song of the true love.
Okay.
I believe love is a verb, and people just quit on love sometimes. And, listen to the wedding vows. It's for better, worse, forever, for good, for money, for rich, for nothing. And that doesn't mean much these days anymore. But this is a true outcry for people to commit to a true love that's a love of every day and a love that's a verb.
Very cool. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for hanging with us. Of course, we are going to have another podcast, a featured podcast, next week. Of course, if you want to contact us, it's very easy. contact@yourlocalnote.com. You can also sign up for our weekly newsletter that Mike does a great job on and gets out every week. Of course, we stream 24/7. Don't forget, you can get our free apps. Just go to the respective stores and type in YLN and then download them for free. And you can check out the website and also check out the streaming that we do. All right. Again, we're wrapping it up with Metropolis America. The song is called Love You, Love on yourlocalnote.com.
Love you, love, love you, love, love you. I love you, love, love you, love you. Your stories filled with exaggeration make me so skeptical. You do some things one should never mention. It should be unacceptable. There are times I think I have to get away, but a promise made is what makes me stay and say, love you, love, love you, love, love you. I love you, love, love you, love, love you. You share your thoughts but with hesitation. It's so regrettable. I write you songs to win your attention. You make me feel they are forgettable. There are times I think, how much more can I take? But a promise made is what makes me stay and say, love you, love, love you, love, love you. I love you, love, love you, love, love you. Love you, love, love you, love, love you. I love you, love, love you, love, love you. You take away identity till I don't know what's left of me. You jeopardize my sanity, but I'll just say I love you, love.